Hey everyone, it's Alyssa from Alyssa's Bake Shop, and today I'm going to share with you my easy 2-ingredient royal icing recipe. The first ingredient is powdered sugar or confectioner sugar. I get this brand at Target. I love this brand. And then we're also using egg whites, and I am using also a kitchen scale today, but I will share with you the cup measurements. If you're going to be using a kitchen scale, make sure that you set it to grams, zero it, and then add your bowl. So we're going to measure 450 grams of powdered sugar or 4 cups. It also is 1 pound, and one of these bags is 2 pounds. So I know that when I buy this bag, I can make this recipe twice. And I typically do make this recipe twice because this makes enough to cover 24 sugar cookies. But if you want to do added details, I would suggest doubling the recipe. Next, we're going to separate our egg whites, and I'm just going to take 2 bowls so that I can put the yolks into the other bowl. You can also use liquid egg whites. So I go for 3.4 ounces or 3 eggs. I always save my egg yolks if I'm not using liquid egg whites so I can make them in other recipes. And there we go. We have our 2 ingredients, and now we're ready to mix it up. Add the whisk attachment to your stand mixer and then pour in your egg whites. You want to beat them for about 30 seconds on medium speed until they're frothy or bubbly. Then we're going to add our powdered sugar 1 cup at a time. I like to do it at 1 cup at a time because it's easier to incorporate into the egg whites, but it also helps to prevent those really big sugar clouds that can come up and make you cough and just get all over the place. After I've added my 2nd cup, I usually stop the mixer so that I can scrape whatever powdered sugar might be stuck at the bottom of the bowl. Keep adding 1 cup at a time until you have added all 4 cups into the stand mixer. You can see how this is still very loose consistency. This is more flooding consistency. So what we're going to do is we want to mix on high speed for about a good 3 to 4 minutes once all of the powdered sugar has been added, because this will allow stiff peaks to form. And you'll know that you have stiff peaks because when you turn off the mixture and pull up the whisk, you'll see how they just look a lot more fluffy. The icing looks very airy and fluffy, and it looks a lot whiter, and it will be able to do this kind of peak without having to drip all over. One thing I do want to mention is that since this is a beginner focused royal icing recipe, we're really only focusing on making pipeable icing consistency. I'm not going to show you how to make the other consistencies in this video because that will be a separate video, but if you have some knowledge, you probably know you can add some water to make flood and add more powdered sugar to make stiff. Now, when you're not using this, it will crust, so you do want to put a damp paper towel right over it. Back to my point about the consistencies, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's totally okay because this is beginner level. This icing, you will be able to cover your cookie and put some details on the cookie, and we can make a lot of designs using this type of icing consistency. And I'm sorry I've said that word so many times, but it's the best way to describe royal icing. I prefer to mix my royal icing with gel-based food dye because this is not watery, and this is just going to give us some really nice vibrant colors. And then another tip that I have for you guys is that because we're using egg whites, this royal icing can sit out at room temperature in a piping bag for about 2 days, but you really don't want to let it sit out for any more than that. And finally, my other tip is you can store it in the refrigerator for up to about 2 weeks and then just let it chill a little bit when you take it out to use. I'm going to share my baking philosophy with you guys, especially if you're subscribed to me or if you see my videos in the future. So in order to come up with my recipes, I really think about the components. So I think about the fact that we have a sugar cookie and then we have the icing on top. We want both of them to work together. So that's why in my recipe, you don't see me add any vanilla extract or salt, corn syrup, or any other types of extracts, because I think about how it's going to all taste together as one. So my sugar cookie recipe is very buttery and it has vanilla already in it, and I find that when I pair that with this nice and sweet royal icing, it really just works together well. This sugar cookie recipe and this royal icing recipe has helped me to really excel in my small business that I had when I was still doing it. Of course, just like any other recipe out there, if you prefer to add vanilla extract, then definitely go ahead and test it out. That is my favorite part about baking, is just all the different testing you can do. So I would recommend to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla or whatever other extract you like, and then taste it and decide if you need more from there. If you want to add salt too, I would recommend only adding a 1/4 teaspoon because it doesn't really need that much salt. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you like my video, consider subscribing or liking. Thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next one.